What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013, and I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed above or directly at WiseTake.com. If you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level, we are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out, WiseTake.com. Day Pass is available. If you're new to this channel, welcome. You've come to the right place for some free fire DFS content. So please subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and don't miss out on any of the free content we put out. Right now, we're covering MLB slates Monday through Friday, meaning we stream Sunday night through Thursday night. So make sure you get in on it. Right? First look style. As always, we stream it the night before. Just get everybody's brain going, trying to recognize the chalk, see what stands out. Yeah. Don't forget to like the video and leave some comments, man. I love the comments, whether it's those of you that are watching live, like my man Pat Bush. What's going on, man? Doing pretty well. How about yourself? Or you're watching this after the fact, early morning, whatever the case is. We want to hear your thoughts, man. It's all about that community vibe, right? Speaking of which, we're trying to get the Slack going. Shout out to, I think it was Time to Grind. WiseTake Nation, remember Time to Grind? He was trying to get some momentum built on that Slack. For MLB, it's died off. We need to put it back up. If you're a month member or higher, you get access to the Slack. Leonard, I'm talking to you, bro. You got a season pass recently, so if you want access to the Slack chat, let me know, and I will send you an invite. You do qualify, my man. All right, so we've got, what is it, an 8-game slate? 8-game slate. We do have cores on the slate, but it's not so big. It's kind of a small slate, right? And we're going to start off, as we always do, with the top pitchers. Brandon Woodruff is the best actual pitcher on the slate, but he's in cores now. I think it's okay to play him, even though it is cores, because there's not a ton of great alternatives in great situations. I guess you could argue Musgrove as a cash game SP1 instead, but you're not looking at Dylan Cease at 9.5 in a cash game environment against Houston, right? Not against Houston. Rich Hill feels risky. The numbers aren't bad, but it just kind of feels a little more risky. I mean, I guess you could argue him. He's got relatively safe numbers here. Right. Yeah, Pat, I see Pat talking about DeGrom, man. That's crazy. And that's why you always play DeGrom in cash anyway. I mean, in the next start, I think that people may veer if we have, if Max Scherzer's on the slate, expect his ownership to be higher, right? But perfect example, DeGrom, who everybody was kind of nervous about not, pitching a ton. And listen, I mean, he didn't really, you want more than a 22 when you pay that money for a pitcher, but he only pitched 3 innings, I think. Was it 3 or 4? Either way, got a 22 on DraftKings, man. Struck out every batter he faced but one. It was crazy. Left with some shoulder issue. He's doing the whole song, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. It's not one consistent injury. It seems to be, I don't know. He just feels like shit this year. I don't know. It's a new body part. I mean, he got an RBI and then never came back out, right? I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, I think Rich Hill is viable. I still feel comfortable with Woodruff in cash. And part of that, I know it's cores, but again, the Rockies against righties. 23.8% K rate isn't super high, but a 140 ISO, a 290 WOBA, and a 69 WRC plus. Mind you, Baltimore and Milwaukee are the next two lowest at 81 and WRC plus. So that's how far of a jump it is. So I still feel fine with Woodruff. But Rich Hill obviously looking like a decent alternative. Joe Musgrove has the best numbers. I mean, his numbers are actually slightly better than Woodruff's. He's playing Cincinnati, who is a very good offense. 111 WRC plus against righties, 337 WOBA, 182 ISO, 22.2% K rate. But keep in mind that Cincinnati plays their home games at a very hitter-friendly park. The San Diego Park is not that. So you've got that going for you, I guess. But I still like Musgrove, and you're saving some money. I think as far as cheaper options go, Stroman's worth a look. Strikeout rate being that low is a little scary, but man, he's been on, man. Batting average balls and plays a little low, but he's a contact guy. 54.8% ground ball rate. The thing with the Cubs is the Cubs do have a 175 ISO, right? They got power, they get hit. Also have a 25.5% K rate. But the lack of strikeout rate, not upside, because he's got upside in the right matchup, but the lack of strikeout rate scares me. Ohtani, man, why not, right? I'm surprised. Man, I think he'll be super popular. FanDuel, he's the most expensive pitcher on the slate, which is kind of crazy. I mean, that they're crazy that I guess that they're approaching this from opposite ends of the spectrum like that. I guess he threw 86 pitches against Arizona. So that's the thing about FanDuel is like the quality start's kind of a big deal. So I don't know, but whatever. But yeah, Ohtani on DraftKings looks great. Playing Detroit, who's been kind of hot-ish, but dead last in WRC plus against lefties. They have a 280 WOBA, 124 ISO, and a 29.7% K rate, which leads the league against lefties. So Ohtani's looking like your cash game. SP2 for sure. I guess you could argue SP1 if that's the route you want to go. Charlie Morton. I mean, his xFIP and Sierra continue to be under 4. We think positive regression is going to come at some point, but when? It's getting old, man. Miami beat him up. We take a look at St. Louis, however, against righties. They don't strike out a ton, 23.2, but a 151 ISO, a 292 WOBA, and an 87 WRC plus. So he's another one at 7-2 on DraftKings, 8-2 on FanDuel that I think we can at least consider. And then, you know what? I'll save the last one for the things to watch. We're going to move over to top offenses. And the Braves are a standout once again for me against Mr. John Gant. Gant currently has a 5.46 xFIP, a 6.07 Sierra, and a 16.3% K rate. Some of the worst numbers on the slate. Some of the worst numbers in the league. On top of that, as we know, the Cardinals, as you can see in this is available for WiseTake subscribers, our bullpen stats for this year. Cardinals are first in xFIP, as in they have the highest bullpen xFIP. So Atlanta's looking pretty juicy, right? We want lefties against Gant, and Atlanta doesn't have a ton of those. But I mean, when you're bad, right? And Atlanta, not to mention Atlanta's offense, needless to say, is good, right? Against righties, 187 ISO, so they get the job done. So we think TJ Zuch is playing. I've seen a couple places that had that. MLB Probables did not declare that. If it's Zuch, it's basically a bullpen game. This guy's awful. We know that Park in Buffalo is hitter friendly. That's why we have a massive total in this game. So obviously the Yankees are going to stand out if this guy really is the starter. Even though the Yankees have just been asked this year. 152 ISO for the New York Yankees, who play their home games in Yankee Stadium. Not getting it done. On the other side of that, Toronto. Michael King. Nothing special here that we're seeing here. We did the same park out in Buffalo. We just talked about it. And Toronto, third in WRC plus at 113, 338 WOBA, 193 ISO, 22.3% K rate. What's not to like? What's not to like? And then I guess we'll talk about, I'll use this to the transition us into the things to watch. But the Brewers are in Coors against German Marquez. So I'm going to say now, they will be popular because they're in Coors. Marquez is really cheap, and I think some people have a tendency on DraftKings to look, see he's cheap, and be like, oh yeah, on FanDuel he's $9K. They're showing him the respect. But Marquez is not a bad pitcher. He's not great, but he's not bad. And Milwaukee, I know they've been playing a little bit better lately. On a record basis, Milwaukee's good, actually. I think they're in first place in their division. But by the numbers against righties, they have a 26% K rate, a 149 ISO, a 288 WOBA, and an 81 WRC plus. Tied for second worst with Baltimore against righties. So Marquez is 5-5 on DraftKings. That's pretty wild. I don't see how. If his ownership is going to be low because he's in chorus, we're going to jump all over that. And it could be because you have these pitchers up top and then you have Ohtani on DraftKings. So maybe people don't need it. Right? Because like if you're pitching Marquez and you're pairing him with Ohtani, what did you need the money for? I mean, realistically, Atlanta, some of these offenses, but for most people, I'm thinking it would have been for a chorus. And you're not playing Milwaukee if you're pitching Marquez, and you're probably not dying to play the Rockies against Brandon Woodruff, even in chorus. So I'm curious to see where his ownership is. Matt Manning. No data on him, obviously, because he's making his debut. This is the top prospect for the Detroit Tigers. He's going up against the Angels. Angels have been swinging a good stick. They're a little banged up, missing Trout still, but they've been swinging a good stick. So this kid was having a terrible, on exterior paper, I guess, if that makes any sense. He was having a terrible year. He had like an 8 ERA. This dude's got major strikeout upside. He's had it through his minor league stint. This year, he's got like a 3 home run per 9 in AAA. So he's been giving up a lot of home runs. So either this kid is 4-7 on DraftKings and he's going to ball out against the Angels, or the Angels are probably going to hit a lot of home runs. So I think that's an interesting decision for y'all to make. Justin Dunn. I've been waiting for this dude to get rocked. 3.91 ERA, but a 5.57 xFIP, 5.11 SIERA. I mean, we're talking about the third highest on this slate. A 50% fly ball rate. He's pitching in Seattle, though. That's where he's pitching. But he's playing Tampa. Tampa Bay. Currently, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in WRC plus against righties, 171 ISO, but that 26.3% K rate would just haunt the ever-living shit out of you. So which way is it going to go? Is Justin Dunn finally going to get his teeth kicked in by Tampa? Or is he going to get by with that slider because Tampa's just too free swinging and they swing and miss a lot? Last but not least, Dylan Cease. I think it's Cease. Having a pretty good year. Look at that K rate, 29.7%. But he's playing Houston, who is tied for first in WRC plus against righties with the Dodgers, with a 171 ISO and 19.3% K rate. 29.7% K rate versus Cease versus a team that strikes out 19.3% of the time, which is probably lowest. Yep, lowest in the league. That should be an interesting matchup. All right, Dong watching, we're out of here. I'm going Ozzy Albies, getting a lefty against Gant, getting a Brave out the way as an infielder. We'll go Giancarlo Stanton, and the main reason I want Stanton is because I'm assuming it's Zuch, right? But again, MLB probables did not. No, they have a TBD. They don't have him up there. But a 10.5% K rate. That's right up Stanton's alley. Because what's his biggest weakness, right? A strikeout. Last but not least, Bo Bichette of Toronto. Against Michael King, I think the Blue Jays show up. Anytime these division guys play the Yankees, they're just so used to the Yankees being good, they're going to step it up and play hard. Especially these young guys like Toronto. But Toronto, they're hitting well, right? Not exactly a hot take, let's be honest. All right, Nation, that's going to do it for us today. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Last show of the week is tomorrow night, so be ready. Do dirties, drop sevens, all that good shit. Don't forget to leave some comments, hit the like button on your way out. Appreciate y'all. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.